The moment those words left Chloe's lips, my heart didn't just break, it shattered into 1,000 jagged pieces that cut right through my chest, leaving me breathless in the middle of a sunlit kitchen I thought we were just admiring together. Standing there in the bright morning light, watching the polished real estate agent smile warmly at Chloe while Chloe beamed back, resting her hand gently on the arm of the man I had loved for 4 years, felt like waking up in a nightmare where every familiar face had turned into a stranger. If this story touches your heart and speaks to the moments when life completely turns upside down, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel, joining our growing family where we hold on to kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances through every unexpected journey life throws our way. Just an hour earlier, the day had felt so ordinary and full of light, wrapped in the crisp warmth of a Saturday morning. Chloe, my closest friend since our college days, had practically dragged me out of my apartment, insisting that I needed a distraction from the quiet solitude I had fallen into over the past few weeks. She had promised a fun afternoon of aimless driving and window shopping through the affluent suburbs on the edge of town, teasing that we could pretend to be millionaires looking for a fresh start. When we pulled up to the stunning modern farmhouse nestled under towering oak trees, sunlight streaming through its massive picture windows, I genuinely believed we were just playing a harmless game of make-believe. My heart was already heavy from weeks of feeling an unspoken distance growing between me and my partner, Marcus, who had grown increasingly elusive, buried under the excuse of intense work hours and sudden business trips. Looking back, the signs were written in every subtle shift of tone, every unanswered text, and every rushed goodbye, but my loyalty to Marcus and my unconditional trust in Chloe had built a fortress of naive safety around my heart. Stepping through the grand front doors, the smell of fresh cedar and vanilla met us, illuminating a spacious open-concept living area bathed in rich daytime sunlight. Chloe led the way with a bubbly energy that felt almost frantic, guiding me from room to room with an eerie familiarity that I blindly mistook for enthusiasm. We admired the quartz countertops, the grand fireplace, and the sprawling backyard garden where bright daylight danced across the manicured lawn. I remember turning to Chloe with a soft smile, ready to tell her how much I appreciated her trying to cheer me up, when the front door chimed again and Marcus walked in. For a brief, dizzying second, my mind tried to rationalize his presence, thinking he had somehow planned a grand romantic surprise to fix the drifting space between us. But as he walked past me without making eye contact and moved straight toward Chloe, time seemed to slow down into an agonizing freeze frame. The real estate agent, a poised woman named Julianne holding a glossy floor plan on her tablet, stepped out from the hallway to greet us with a professional smile. Chloe immediately stepped toward her, wrapping her arm around Marcus's elbow in a gesture so natural, so practiced, that it could only have been forged over months of secret affection. With a glowing, unbothered smile, Chloe looked straight at Julianne and spoke the words that severed my reality, stating with absolute certainty that her boyfriend and she absolutely loved the house and were ready to make an offer right then and there. Marcus didn't pull away, nor did he look ashamed, he simply smiled down at Chloe, adjusting his watch, confirming a reality that left me completely erased from the room. The air rushed out of my lungs, and the world seemed to tilt as the bright midday sun streaming through the windows suddenly felt harsh and blinding, exposing the brutal truth that the two people I trusted most in the world had been building a secret life together right behind my back. Julianne began pointing out the features of the home, completely unaware of the silent execution taking place in front of her, while I stood frozen near the kitchen island, feeling like a ghost watching my own life be auctioned off. When Marcus finally glanced at me, there was no dramatic apology or sudden outburst of remorse in his eyes, only a cold, calculated resignation that hurt far worse than anger ever could. Chloe turned to me with a look that attempted to mimic sympathy, whispering that she was sorry I had to find out this way, but that they couldn't keep living a lie anymore and wanted me to see the place where they were going to start their future together. The sheer callousness of bringing me to their prospective home under the guise of a supportive friend's day out was a level of cruelty I couldn't comprehend. With tears blurring my vision and my head spinning, I turned around, pushed through the heavy glass doors, and walked out into the blinding midday heat, every step feeling like dragging heavy weights through deep sand. The weeks that followed were a blur of numb quiet, painful realizations, and the agonizing process of unspooling a life that had been intertwined with someone else for so long. Marcus moved his things out while I sat in the sunlit corner of our old living room, watching 4 years of shared memories vanish into cardboard boxes without a fight. Chloe sent a few cowardly text messages trying to excuse her betrayal as an unavoidable stroke of fate, but I couldn't bring myself to reply, realizing that holding on to anger was only keeping me anchored to their deceit. I spent long, warm afternoons walking through the city park, watching the light filter through the autumn leaves, asking myself how a heart is supposed to heal when the foundation of your trust is completely destroyed. The emotional weight felt insurmountable at times, a heavy dark cloud hanging over even the brightest sunlit mornings, but slowly, painfully, the tears began to dry, replaced by a quiet, stubborn determination to rebuild my life from the ground up. I realized that my worth was never tied to Marcus's loyalty or Chloe's friendship, and that surviving their ultimate betrayal was granting me a rare, unexpected freedom to discover who I truly was on my own. I poured myself into my work, reconnected with old acquaintances who showed me genuine empathy, and started transforming my modest apartment into a sanctuary of peace, filling it with bright green plants, soft sunlight, and colors that made me feel alive. Months drifted by, each sun-filled afternoon bringing a little more light back into my spirit and a little more strength back into my stride. I learned to look back at that dreadful day at the open house not as the moment my world ended, but as the moment I was forcibly freed from an illusion that was quietly starving my soul. Almost a year later, on a gorgeous daylight afternoon, my line of work led me to an art gallery exhibition in the heart of the city, an event celebrating new beginnings and community artists. The gallery was flooded with warm sunshine from skylights high above, casting a golden glow over the crowded room filled with laughter and conversation. As I walked through the exhibits, feeling a genuine sense of contentment and confidence I hadn't felt in years, I rounded a corner and unexpectedly ran right into Chloe. She looked distinctly different. The radiant, polished appearance she wore at the open house had been replaced by a tired, guarded expression, and she was standing alone near a series of landscape paintings. When our eyes met, a sharp silence fell between us, but to my own surprise, the burning rage that used to consume me was completely gone, replaced only by a profound sense of quiet clarity. Chloe took a hesitant step forward, her voice trembling slightly as she admitted that things hadn't worked out the way she had envisioned, sharing that the house had fallen through and her relationship with Marcus had crumbled under the weight of guilt and mistrust only months after they moved in together. She looked at me with genuine regret, waiting for the harsh words or cold bitterness she undoubtedly deserved, but I simply looked back at her with a gentle, settled expression. I told her softly that I forgave her, not because what she did was acceptable, but because I refused to carry the heavy burden of her mistakes into my bright future any longer. Seeing the relief and shame wash over her face made me realize how far I had come. While she was still trapped in the wreckage of her choices, I had walked through the fire and come out whole, strong, and completely free. Before we conclude this emotional journey, I would love for you to take a moment and share your thoughts in the comments below about what true forgiveness means to you, and how letting go of bitterness can clear the path for our own healing and happiness. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Life has a way of stripping away what was never meant for us, only to make space for the beauty, strength, and genuine love that we truly deserve. Thank you for walking this path with us, and remember that no matter how dark the morning begins, the sun always finds a way to shine through again.